now ask you, the signing of Rcep agreement, we had ASEAN, which has been in place for decades and quite successful, I must say. What really is then so different in forming Rcep?
Well, Rcep adds, if you take on the very south of ASEAN, it adds Australia and New Zealand. And if you add Bangladesh, and the role of China is very different. If you compare ASEAN, the 10 countries, they have certain limitations. But if you add China, Japan, and South Korea, the whole dynamics change. You bring in one of the largest economies with the fastest growing technological advancements happening in China. Then you have Japan, one of the largest car makers, having a lot of other diverse technologies. And then you add South Korea, which is again a technology powerhouse. And then you have the lower income countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, Cambodia, the ASEAN bloc. And then you have a different set of countries like Malaysia, Singapore. It's a very dynamic regional partnership if you take into account the size of the economies. Why would it work? Because, as I mentioned, the dynamics of each economy helps each other function better. If you take into Bangladesh, 8th largest labor force, rising income, one of the largest countries in the world by 2030-31, brings into the bloc many different advantages, from population to domestic economic size to the growing number of income levels. So in a nutshell, if you compare the other smaller association, it's a totally game-changing association because of the size. You got 2.2 billion customers or consumers and rising incomes. Now the interesting part, which my article kind of talks about Bangladesh's role and Bangladesh's advantage. So that is something which Bangladesh needs to, I think, grab the opportunity and the advantages that it might create through various joint ventures, technology transfers, investment. As you know, we have been talking, you were in Dhaka Chamber with me, we were always pushing and comparing Vietnam and Bangladesh in FDI, why Vietnam is so popular or attracting 5-6 times of Bangladesh's FDIs. And one of the reasons is ASEAN, because they are part of the ASEAN bloc. So that gives confidence to ASEAN members to go and invest in Vietnam. So I feel that if you take that into account, and if Bangladesh is part of the Rcep, the members will be more confident to come to Bangladesh and invest.